Good evening, folks. It's Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project and Magnetic Reversal News, bringing you a Hurricane Delta update. Monday, October 5th, 11:30 p.m. Mountain Time 2020. You're looking at Delta, a major hurricane intensifying midday Thursday. The big story, Delta rapidly strengthens to a hurricane. Will threaten the Gulf Coast late in the week, as predicted. 24 hours ago, we predicted in 24 hours, Delta would become a hurricane. And we're right on time. Keep calm. It's boom time. Hurricane Delta breaks record for the earliest 25th named storm. Forecast to strike the Gulf Coast this week. And they're showing some images. Take a look at Delta. Hurricane Delta just south of Cuba is going to slip through the slot between the Yucatan and Cuba sometime Wednesday afternoon. And this model is showing it to actually hit the tip of the Yucatan, but I think it's going to be more centrally located. Allowed itself to increase in size and stature. Now the key messages for Tropical Storm Delta, which is now Hurricane Delta. Hello. Timing is everything. Dangerous wind surge and hurricane conditions are expected within portions of the northern Yucatan Peninsula of Mexico and are possible in extreme western Cuba beginning Tuesday night, and a hurricane warning is currently in effect. Heavy rainfall will affect portions of Jamaica, the Cayman Islands, western Cuba, and the northern Yucatan Peninsula during the next few days. This rainfall could lead to significant flash flooding and mudslides. Tropical storm conditions are expected in portions of the Cayman Islands beginning tonight or early Tuesday, and tropical storm warnings are in effect. Delta is forecast to approach the northern Gulf Coast late this week as a hurricane, Cat 2, in my opinion. While there is large uncertainty in the track and intensity forecasts, there is an increasing risk of dangerous storm surge wind and rainfall hazards along the coast from Louisiana to the western Florida Panhandle. As we warned already, we took it all the way from Houston to Pensacola, though. Residents in these areas should ensure they have their hurricane plan in place and monitor updates for Delta. But we've been looking at the spaghetti models for the last 48 hours, and they have not changed much, and the cacophony of them making landfall just west of New Orleans, nothing has changed. Our forecast 26 hours ago is the same as now. There is no change, except for this little bizarre model here going out here, which just ends in nowhere. So those are the spaghettis, and if you take them all together, here's the forecast track. Hurricane, hurricane, major hurricane, major hurricane, major hurricane. That means Cat 3 or greater as it moves through and then strengthens in the center of the Gulf, where it will actually lose intensity as it makes landfall. So that's good news. It's going to lose intensity. Here is the probability of arrival times for tropical storm winds. Tuesday, 8 p.m. right here in the Straits. Wednesday, 8 a.m. in the center of the Gulf. And by the evening, Wednesday, 8 p.m., it's going to be setting up its track for landfall, which will move onshore right to the west of New Orleans. That's our call. We're sticking with it. So let's get to the models. And let's just bring you back to right now. And here we can see Hurricane Delta forming off of Georgetown. Now we're looking at, let me just move myself up here while we do these model runs, and so you can get more clarity on what's actually happening here. So we have Gamma here wreaking some havoc off of Merida, and it's going to just rumble its way down here as Hurricane Delta moves its way in this direction and turns right towards New Orleans. Now we're looking at the GFS model. And before we get, let's run the GFS through, which I think is the most statistically correct version of what's actually going to happen here. So by tomorrow afternoon, if you're watching this video, we're going to have a major hurricane sitting just south of Havana, maybe 200 kilometers. And it will be intensifying, creating an eye wall. And that will slowly move through the slot between Cuba and the Yucatan, rafing the tip of the Yucatan Peninsula. But if you notice the position of the eye wall in these models, it was going to stay offshore, so there will be very little disruption. There's very little topographic highs here, and it's just only going to sit there for a few seconds. So very little breakdown in the storm, as by midday Wednesday, it is now off the shore of the Yucatan Peninsula and moving into the Central Gulf. By Wednesday evening, it should be placing itself in a position to gain power over warm waters, and that's exactly what the GFS model shows. Watch it all of a sudden go white in the center, and when you see the white in the center, you know it's reached Cat 3 status. So if we can just get some shots here, let's move it back and run it through. We don't have much bandwidth here, and we're trying to work with the internet, give you a live stream, and there it is. There's that white center, which any major hurricane will have. Now, if we just pause this and move the wind scale into the center here, you're going to see it's just about 80, 90 miles per hour here. Hours of powers, and these are gusts. So this is just a Cat 1 storm, according to the GFS. And we'll just play this through here for you. You can see where it is midday Friday here on the GFS model. Winds showing up at about 100. Sustained winds at about 100 miles per hour here. And then it's just going to rapidly change direction early Friday morning and make its final run towards New Orleans. So let's just pause it there. Let's see what the model is showing midday Friday. This is a new data set which is showing Cat 2 storm making landfall, Cat 2, 3 potentially west of New Orleans. This is the GFS model. Now the European model was showing something completely different, so I'm going to switch over to that, and if you can bear with me, we will go through that picture. And what the European model shows is much different. It shows a rapidly intensifying storm early and breaking down early. So let's just blow this up. There you can see, as of tomorrow afternoon, according to the European model, there are winds. Let's just get the gustimeter in here. Already by tomorrow afternoon, there are winds in this storm at 100 miles per hour. And it's tracking, the European model is putting it straight through the slot here. Worst case scenario, in my opinion, if it does not rafe the coast of the Yucatan. So in this model, you can see here it misses the Yucatan completely, which is why it continues to intensify and now is already at Cat 3 in this region, Cat 2, Cat 3. And according to the European model, if it misses the Yucatan, it will continue to intensify as it moves into the Gulf through midday Wednesday. Let's see what these winds are like. Approaching 120 here. So this is midday Wednesday on the European model. Let's just run it through to midday Thursday and see what happens. This storm is rapidly intensifying. That looks pretty severe right there. Almost like a Hurricane Rita in its small stature, but tight, extreme wind field, but only getting up here into the 110 mile per hour range. That's about it, which is good news for people that live in the Gulf Coast, because it's not going to be Cat 5, but it's still going to be quite an intense storm. So we're running the models through, and the data is just not keeping up. So let's just reset it. Here we go. Thursday morning, intensifying. Thursday afternoon, changing direction. And we're watching it as the models crunch the numbers. It's actually not playing forward, so we're going to let that go for a minute here, and let's take a look at the current update on Hurricane Delta. Maximum sustained winds at 70 miles per hour. So the European model is slightly more correct here. Dangerous storm surge and hurricane conditions are expected within portions of the Yucatan Peninsula and Mexico beginning Tuesday night, and hurricane warnings are in effect. Now, let's just play this through here with the new numbers. So the European model is taking it extremely west here before it turns. Maybe Friday a.m. it's going to turn and then rapidly decrease in power according to the European model, almost reaching Cat 1 storm or less. The European model has it coming far west of where we're predicting, and I believe it's totally incorrect. So, somewhere between the European model and the GFS model is going to manifest in the next 3 or 4 days. And Hurricane Delta is no joke. If you live on the coast, from Houston to Pensacola, you should be prepared for anything. Hope you got something out of the video. Proper prior planning prevents piss poor performance, as a hurricane, which we predicted yesterday, is coming to get you if you live in the region where it's going to make landfall. Now, that could be anywhere, but according to what we've been looking at and the predictive model, the GFS model, we believe that this is the most logical forecast right here. Let's check the wind speeds. Yeah, that's about Cat 1, Cat 2. Those are gusts at around 100 miles per hour. And it will be making landfall Friday night before your very lives. We predicted this before the mainstream. They just picked up what we said and they went with it. No, actually, there's tons of data and forecast models. And if you're in a job as a journalist or a weatherman and you're not watching these as often as I am, which is every second of every day, all day, then you will not have the forecasting skills that we have here at the Oppenheimer Ranch Project. It's that simple. If you also don't know about the historical weather record and how it relates to solar forcing, then you've got nothing. You're just walking into a poor forecasting model filled with dogma and nonsense. But this is not a unique storm, and the earliest 25th named storm or whatever they're claiming is total shart, because some of the storms they named were barely even, well, anyway. It's all about fear, control. They're controlling the narrative to control your heart fluttering. Cat 2, Cat 3 storm may claim a few lives, but those are the people that don't heed warnings. The rest of you will be safe. Prepare for power outages, flooding, flash flooding, food shortages. You might not be able to get out, so have 3, 5, 10, 12, a year's worth of food on hand, just in case. Now, what is the problem with you having 1, 2, 3 years of food on hand that you're rotating as you eat it as a hedge? It just means you're prepared for any eventuality. The people that call you cuckoo are cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. They're the people that are going to suffer when there's a power outage just for 3 days. They're not going to have any backup supplies. They're not going to even know what to do. So kudos to you that has the preparedness to keep 1, 3 months, 1 year, 3 years worth of food on your property, as well as backup energy. And we're talking solar panels, generators, especially diesel ones, that could power your whole home indefinitely for as long as you have fuel. The storm is coming, and it will make landfall Friday evening on the Gulf Coast, just west of New Orleans. I hope you're preparing. We just laid it out. Thanks to all of our one-time donors, our new Patreons. And if you become a Patreon, you can get all of our videos in one place, commercial-free. It's that easy. Oppenheimer Ranch Project, Magnetic Reversal News, Shinrin-yoku. The trifecta you've been waiting for. Al Gore's a whore. Be safe. Delta's coming. And that's a boom. To knowledge. And hard work. We hope you're all safe as this storm makes landfall west of New Orleans Friday evening. We'll keep you updated. Be safe.